There we go. Now we're back where we should be. Sorry for being a little late here to get this up and rolling. I was a little confused here tonight. We'll get this straightened out though. Forgive me being week one. Ready to go here in the heat. Come on, you. Stupid thing. Give me what I need. I come here out of the corner. You got Matt Barber there out front with Mike Brewer there in second. Jeff Barker there third. Brandon Garan back there in fourth. They come here off of floor here at Lincoln tonight. John Dubai there in fifth. Got Ray Home there in sixth. Harold Plum. They come here out of corner number 3 and 4 once again here. It is going to be Matt Barber for the lead here coming over. There you got Mike Brewer there in second. Results coming in here. Sorry we missed the first heat. This is heat 2 here, I believe, if I'm looking at it correctly. Or no, I'm sorry, that was heat 3. So heat 3 results. Matt Barber, Mike Brewer, Jeff Barker, Brandon Garand, John Dubay. Here we go. So starting here. John Dubay, Scott Ryan, and Harold Klump there for your start of heat 4. It's going to be Bob the Good there in first, Michael Vitale there in second, Dylan Kinsey there in third, Anthony Morano there fourth, Joseph Grande there in fifth, Jason Butterfield there in sixth, Chad Lackey there in seventh for this heat race number 4. All right, here we go. Oh, come on now, get me. Oh, yes. Dang. Be helpful if I can hit the brake. Oh, guess it helps if I hit the car. There we go. Anthony Morano there in the number 32. Dylan Kinsey there on the inside. Or I'm sorry, no. Yeah, on the inside there in the 639. That ready to roll. Bob the Good. They're on the inside trying to get rolling, but that outside lane, they get really up there. It's almost 3 wide coming here off of turn 2 down that backstretch. 3 wide for that second row, and Morano up there in second with the Good there in third. And Jason Butterfield there fourth. Chad. There, Joseph Grandi. Or Dylan Kinsey, I'm sorry, ended up down there into the one wall. Looks to be okay. Going to struggle trying to get that car back up there towards the front. I've got Morano following there on the inside. 7 laps to go in heat number 4. Michael Vitale up there in front. Jason Butterfield there in third. The Good there in fourth with Chad Lackey there in fifth. Now they roll on down through here. You got that 639 there of Dylan Kinsey. Back there in sixth. This is here at Lincoln Motor Speedway. Now we're fighting here with the 358 modifieds for the Coast to Coast Racing League. And I'm trying to go and get the, there we go, the timing up for you guys. I will roll off of here. Down onto that front, down here through turn 3. Well, yeah. Turn 3 and 4. Morano down there on the inside, way against that inside wall, trying to make that work as he now comes off or underneath the 213 of Vitale. Now they work here down in the corner number 3 and 4. Once again, back out on that front stretch. You got 3 drivers up there towards the front. A little farther towards the back, you got Chad Lackey back there in 5th position with Dylan Kinsey back here in 6th. The Good right there in front of Lackey as Lackey tries to go to the outside, works on him there with 2 laps. Now we're on to the final lap here. with Morano down there on the inside, trying to get that inside lane to stick just enough as Morano and Vitelli are side by side down here in the corner number 3 and 4, back out here onto the front stretch as they work here down there on the bottom side, and away we go. And it's going to be Morano for the win. What a run there off of corner number 4 for Morano to get that win here in heat number 4. All right, there is your heat 4 results. Anthony Morano there in first. Michael Vitelli there second. Jason Butterfield there third. Bob the Good there in fourth. Chad Lackey there in fifth. Dylan Kinsey in sixth. Joseph Grundy back there in seventh. Now here we are on to the B main, or B main number 1 possibly. I'm still learning the format here. Wait for all the drivers to line up. Here's our starting grid here for this. Randy Shreves on the inside with Mason Hine. His outside starting second. John Dubois there in third with Chad Lackey starting there in fourth. Sam Bachman there fifth. Dan McLaren in sixth. Scott Freeholm there in seventh. Dylan Kinsey there in eighth. Clay Christopherson there in ninth. Brian Dickens there in 10th. Harold Klump in 11th. Joseph Grundy there in 12th. Now we head on down through here, off of the corner, getting ready for the start of this race. Chad Lackey back here in fourth. Now we roll up here. Get ready. Oh, Grundy. There we go. All right, here we go for the B main. Pace car is off. Randy Shreves, the control car down there on the inside, off of corner number 4, and they hit that loud pedal down here in the corner number 1. They go. Shreves out to a great start, and it's got all kind of bottleneck here behind them. You see there the 3. Trying to figure out who that 3 is as they are battling, and we got one up and around. That's the 6-8 or 639. Brian Kinsey, or Dylan Kinsey, sorry. Dylan Kinsey going around up on somebody's nose. Now work there off of turn number 2 back out here onto that backstretch. Down in the corner number 3 and 4, 3 wide there. A couple drivers as they work here off the corner. Down here off the corner as they work here onto the backstretch. I got Randy Shreves out front, Chad Lackey there in second, Mason Hine there in third with Sam Bachman coming there off the corner. Everybody working side by side down there. It looks like the 89 is working on Lackey. As they come there off of there. There comes the 51. Well, the 51 of Clay Christopherson. Looking to see if he can get a run on that 88 of Dan McLaren. We got that 2 there with the 21 of John Dubay. Now 3 wide back there, 4 to go in the B main. Now they're working here off the corner, back out onto the front stretch. Down in the corner number 1 they go. Off of 2 down that back stretch here in the corner number 3. Michael Thompson and McLaren battling it out. It still comes storming here off of the turn 4. Back here, 2 to go. Out there on the outside, that is Chad Lackey, Mason Hine, Sam Bachman, and Clay Christopherson back here in 5th. All right, I just want to say here, as we got some warm-ups going on here, I'm a little sorry here for first night on the job, screwing it up like I did getting here on air late. I was here in the booth, but didn't quite understand the timeline. As I got confused when I got in session and saw almost an hour of practice, so I got confused. So now I know for future reference, be ready right on the dot. 7. I also ended up getting called away from the PC, so I didn't see them take the track for advanced session. So I do apologize for that. As nature called. Down here, in through the corner, we see them all trying to get the cars worked out. Track's definitely slickened off, as you can see that rubber lane in the corners. We do hope to have a great night of racing tonight. As you're watching here, the warm-ups take place. I can't thank everybody enough for giving me another opportunity here at Coast to Coast. Hopefully we can work it out and be able to join the Coast to Coast team, as I really enjoy it. I realize that we didn't quite get things off on the right foot tonight, but we're going to get that straightened out as everything gets situated. We only got about a minute left of warm-ups here at Lincoln. These drivers get situated here tonight. That track's looking a little rough out there. These cars are really bouncing around. Off the corner comes Vitelli. They're watching them here with the closing lap here of warm-up. Hopefully everybody's got that car dialed in where they want it. The next race should be an interesting one as well, so stay tuned as we go and switch on to that here after this one. As we're getting here with the grid of your main event. Randall Dixon starting out there on pole. Ryland Banks in second. Matt Barber there in third. Anthony Murata fourth. Dean Reynolds will roll off tonight in fifth with Isaac Sellis there in sixth. Mike Brewer there in seventh. Michael Vitelli in eighth. Kurt Schatzer there in ninth. Kelly Wheeler there in 10th. Jeff Barker in 11th. Jason Butterfield there in 12th. In 13th tonight, that's going to be Craig Bristol in the 093, Brian Moore in the 055, starting there in 14th. The 53 of Brandon Garan starting there in 15th. Bob DeGood there in the number 7, starting in 16th tonight. 17th, that's going to be the 56 of Randy Shreves. And in 18th, that's the 91 of Chad Lackey. In 19th position, starting here tonight, is the 007, Sam Bachman. Mason Hine there in 20th, and at number 89 with Clay Christopherson in that 051, starting tonight 21st. 22nd, that's going to be Dan McLaren in the number 88. In the 444 is Scott Friome in that 23rd position. Harold Klump there in the 2, starting 24th. That is your starting grid here tonight for your main event. The drivers are trying to get situated here. Lots of drivers out here Lots of talent as well. As you see, they pulled that pace car off into the infield. Now we're getting ready as they come here out of 2. For the green flag, we've got 30 laps for the feature event here tonight. And apparently that's not going to work tonight, so we got to switch back to the caution. Oh, man, is it goofing up? All right. There it goes. I come here out of the corner. You got a few of them saying they're out, and it does look that way. Why is it showing that? This is what we need. We are battling back here. You got the 51 of Christopherson way up there to the outside. They're showing a lap down for some reason back here at the back as they come here off of corner number 3. Back out here to the front stretch. Morano up there in the 4th now as he's riding down there along the bottom side of the racetrack. You got the 5 up there of Isaac Zealous trying to work that top side, that bottom lane, trying to really get that momentum. But this track being a tight racetrack here at Lincoln, definitely showing these drivers some. There you see Michael Vitelli. He's trying to work his way up through, and just look at them cars bounce as they come here through the corners and down the straightaways. You can really watch them cars giddy up and bouncing all over the place. They're definitely coming here off of 2 and down that backstretch. If you catch that bumper on coming off 2, as we got Salas really trying to make some moves there through the middle and ends up getting into the front of the 39 of Michael Brewer. And Al Brewer falls back a little bit in that number 039, or 390, sorry, on the scoreboard as they work here off of corner number 4. Back down there on the inside, you got them really tight right here. That 56 of Randy Shreves and Chad Lackey, Randy Shreves, 88 up there, getting that front end picked up. He now drops back as Clay Christopherson, ends up dropping back down there on the inside, but that 88 still fighting as much as he can. 23 to go. Caution is out as we got big problems up here in turn number 1. Looks like Butterfield to good. Possibly some drivers involved. And come here out of the corner. And come down into corner number 1. Oh, okay. That was okay. So we got some, it's just a pile there. Drivers ending up getting hooked in. That's the 390. Michael Brewer ended up around. See if we can catch up exactly what happened to him as we come here out of the corner. Up there along that top side of the racetrack, back around here towards that front. Down the front straightaway. And he ends up around, so it started ahead of him. Trying to see who might have ended up around, and I'm not really seeing that on my end here. Michael Brewer was just a circumstance, victim of circumstance almost, as you see as they come down here into the corner. And got that 76 up there. That's who we need to try to pay attention to. But I think we're going back green flag racing, so we need to try to catch up to the live action. Everybody's lined up, double file. We're getting ready, I believe, for the restart. They come here out of 3. Down there on the bottom side is Morano. You got the 79 there of Dean Reynolds as they work here through off of turn 2 rather, onto that backstretch. The 76 there of Ryland Banks. Down there on the inside now as they work here off of corner number 4, back around onto that front straightaway. Everybody working well. Matt Barber out front. He's got Morano there down there to the inside, though. Here comes Dean Reynolds as you got him. And we got problems back here toward the back possibly. Trying to see as we got a few of them slow. Now you got the 5-13 slow to get rolling. McLaren down there, got one of them down on the infield. No caution, though, as they keep rolling. down through here off the back stretch off of turn 4. Here, great racing here at Lincoln so far. Caution now comes out. It's going to re-rack them here as we start getting down here into the final stretches. I see Fred out there with the pace car trying to get caught up there. Second caution on the night. 19 laps to go. And if anybody's new to dirt track racing here on the network, dirt track racing, unlike road, the road course or the asphalt that we normally see here at FFTv, we usually end up with the caution laps not counting. On dirt, though, well, no, they don't count here either. Okay. Or no, they do count on asphalt. They do not count on dirt. I had a flip-flop. Everybody get lined back up. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Pace car is off. We got Barber out front with Morano to his outside. You got Isaac Salas down there on the inside. Dean Reynolds on the outside as they come roaring off of turn number 4. They're already trying to fight for a position there around Christopherson as they come down here into corner number 1. All over the place. You got the 53 up into the outside wall. That is Brandon Garrard up there on the outside. Caution is back out on the speedway. Brandon Garrard ended up on the outside rail as they come around the racetrack. We'll watch it here as they come here through the start-finish line. He's up there along the top side. And that 55 just kind of bounced up the racetrack into the 53 and catches the back of the pack there. He gets it straightened out, but caution does come out. Okay, you see Moran there in the pits. We got 18 laps to go. Here for the Coast to Coast 358 Modified Division here tonight. Matt Barber out there in second. You got Anthony Morano there third. Isaac Zales there in fourth. Dean Reynolds there in fifth. Kurt Schatzer there sixth. All right, oh, sorry, fifth. Kelly Wheeler there. Well, okay, well, there goes my leaderboard all jumping around again. Single file here for the restart. Off a corner at number 4 they come. Dean Reynolds looking to the inside of Salas. Cannot quite get there as that track is really starting to get slick here tonight. Coming out of turn number 1 and 2 down that backstretch. Down here off of the corner, you're seeing there the 39, or 390 rather, of Mike Brewer. He's trying to get down there underneath the 444 of Scott Ryome. Now we got Salas now working there underneath of Morano. Morano stuck up there in that slick spot. Up now he gets into that good track. Coming off the corner. And he's still going to hold on to that second position as Salas now goes way up to the top side. Ends up towards that outside wall. Here comes Dean Reynolds there on the bottom side. Coming down that back stretch. Just look at that 5 of Salas bounce down that back straightaway as we come back out here onto the front. 15 laps to go here for that A-main feature of the Coast to Coast 358 Modified Division here tonight. Kelly Wheeler back here in 6th. Michael Vitelli back in 7th. You got Rylan Banks back here in 8th. Brian Moore back here in 9th. Clay Christopherson rounding out your top 10 as they're battling all over the racetrack. Morano back here in 2nd, all over the back bumper of Barber as they come down here into corner number 3 once again. You got that 5 Salas getting around Reynolds. Now he's going to try to get up there and battle Morano, but Morano is a tough competitor out here in the 358 division. As he's up there on that outside, he's going to try to get something to stick, get that momentum built up as they work down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Here comes Salas now. He's looking to the outside. Morano now diving to the inside as they work here off of 4. 12 laps to go here in this feature. Now everybody comes rolling there off at corner number 4, back around here on to corner number 2, down that backstretch. Dean Reynolds back there in 4th, and another caution underway here tonight in the 358 as Sam Bachman has crashed along with Bob DeGood. We'll see exactly what happened here. That's tough racing there. Coming off a turn 4, back down here in the corner number 1. They try to dive in there, and he slides up. The 007 gets turned around, and there you see the 56 getting into him. He ends up stopping, and you know, letting the pack get around him. Now, I know a lot of drivers, they hate to do it, but it is the respectful thing to do, and that is locking the car down, hitting them brakes whenever you get into a spin like that. 11 laps to go here in the 358 division here tonight. As you got Matt Barber out there in front, Anthony Morano there second, Isaac Salas there in third, Dean Reynolds fourth, Kurt Schatzer there fifth. I got Kelly Wheeler back there in 6th, Michael Vitelli there in 7th, Ryland Banks in 8th, Clay Christopherson 9th with, oh great, here we go again, it's moving all around on me. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the show here tonight. And Flicker Farm TV is enjoying bringing it to you here for the Coast to Coast Racing League. Now we try to see if we can wonder for the last 10 laps if we can get that to come alive, and it's not wanting to. So we got to figure that out. The line there that shouldn't be there, and that's the problem. I got to remember which line that is. That's it, the Coast to Coast Racing League from Lincoln. They are back out here under green flag conditions down here in the corner number 1. Morano there in second. You got Isaac Salas there in third. Down here, down through in the corner number 1. Reynolds there in 4th. Kurt Schatzer there 5th. Kelly Wheeler in 6th. Michael Vitelli as they work out here off of the corner back on that front straightaway. Green flag. Okay, wait a moment here. Something not adding up right. Now they come here off the corner. You got Dean Reynolds down there in 4th. Here comes Salas up to the outside, way up against that outside wall, bumping that a little bit as he comes here off a 2 down that back straightaway. Now they work down there in the corner number 3 and 4 once again. Out there on the front stretch. Everybody single file until you get back here towards the middle of the pack. With Craig Bristol, Randy Shreves, and Mike Brewer all battling for position back here towards the back. Got that 390 up there on that outside lane. Over top of that 4 FTM machine. Working here off of the corner. I have lost my SDK here for a moment. And come here off of 4. Dean Reynolds out there in front trying to catch where we're at, how many laps are left. And I know the laps are winding down here with Barber out front, Salas there in second. Morano falling back into third, possibly falling back into 4th as Dean Reynolds is down there on the inside. These two battled it out in the heat race. Now back here battling it out for a podium on the feature. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I got it here on my end. . Try to reload it on the stream's end. There we go. 4 to go here with the big block, or with the 358 modifieds. Randall Dixon out there on track. You got the 2 there of Harold Klump. As they work around here. Barber out front. Salas there in second. Morano there third. Dean Reynolds there in fourth. These drivers are looking really good out there. A little bit of damage there on the 76 machine to that right quarter panel, or right side panel rather. But nothing to really hurt them, as this is dirt track racing. Pace car's off. We're going to be going 5 laps to go. Oh, no, pace car's still on. It'll be 4 laps to go when we take the green flag. Barber's out front. Salas there in second. Morano there third. Everybody works here off the corner. Pace car pulled off. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. But Barber out front. Coming off the corner. Here they go. Barber out front. Salas there in second. Morano there third. Getting a great jump over top of Reynolds. Reynolds now going up there to the outside. Here comes the 18, or the 218 rather, of Kurt Schatzer. Kelly Wheeler back here in that 11 machine. Coming down here off of turn number 3. It's going to be 3 laps to go here off of the corner. Everybody's trying to get up positions from where they might have restarted from as they come here off of 2. You see Salas up there on the high side as they work down here into corner number 3 and 4. As he's up there on the high side, he's trying to work around, but Morano gets around on the bottom side. And that's going to drop Salas back there into second. Morano now working his way around, trying to get that grip up there on the high side of the racetrack to get that momentum build up. Bouncing down that back straightaway. He's really trying to get something to go on the outside. A Barber possibly as they come down here. It's Salas there in third. Dean Reynolds back here has got a fight going on. Now they come here off of 2. Drivers single file towards the back. Randall Dixon, or Randy Shreves rather, having problems back here toward the back. Randall Dixon jumps to the pits. Here off of corner number 2. It is going to be Matt Barber out there for the win. Anthony Morano for second. Isaac Salas there third. Here comes your results. Matt Barber out front there leading and winning. Anthony Morano there second. Isaac Salas there third. Dean Reynolds there fourth. Kurt Schatzer fifth. Kelly Wheeler sixth. Mike Patelli there in seventh. Blake Christopherson there in eighth. Ryland Banks in ninth. Brian Moore there in 10th. Harold Klump 11th. Scott Riome there in 12th. Brandon Garan there in 13th. Randall Dixon 14th. Randy Shreves in 15th. Mike Brewer in 16th. Sam Bachman 17th. And down here in 18th, we got Craig Bristol, 19th, Jeff Barker, Chad Lackey in 20th, Dan McLaren there in 21st, Jason Butterfield finishing night in 22nd, Mason Hain there in 23rd, and Bob DeGood finishing the night in 24th. Alrighty, so here we go. We're getting to the victors here before we get into the next race. Starting with our third place finisher. Isaac, how's it going?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Oh, it's going well. Hopefully we got everything situated here. I think so. Okay.
I believe so. I believe.
Yeah, we do. I didn't know if I had the audio set there or not for the chat, but we do. And congrats on third place here tonight. Kind of take us through. That track seemed to be kind of on the slick side here tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun track. I mean, the top was good, 1 and 2. If you hit it right, if you hit it wrong, it was not good at all. But 3 and 4 was tricky. I know that that middle line's really good, but if you wanna try to get past guys, you can't follow them. So I was trying to just rip the lip and kind of just be there if they made a mistake, and almost got it done, but pretty happy about it. So I'll take a P3.
Yeah, it definitely looked like we're having a lot of fun out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was it's always a blast to race against Anthony, and then some new guys that I haven't gotten to race around before. So get my butt whooped right off the bat by some new guys that I don't know. So that's cool. But yeah, pretty sweet.
That's always fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
All right, who's your sponsors or shout outs you want to give here?
Yeah, big shout out to Venom Racing, Dean the Super Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, JRB Designs for that scheme that was on tonight, Artisan Trackside, Mission 22, Top Notch Trucking, my Gramps, Shaggy TV, Rimsey Home Inspections, my mom and dad for watching, my friends and family for watching, Kelser in the living room for letting me do this on a random Thursday night, and other than that, thanks to all the guys that showed up tonight. It was a pretty good week one.
Oh, it definitely was a blast here, and I want to apologize to whoever out there again. Sorry, we kind of got lost in communication here when I should have got started here, but nonetheless, we got here. We're catching it, and we're good to go for the rest of the night.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
So
well, I hope you have a good one and enjoy talking to those two hooligans.
Alrighty, we'll see if we'll talk to you at the next one if you're racing the next one.
That's the goal, buddy.
Alrighty. That was Isaac Salas, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Anthony Morano. Good evening, Anthony. How's it going?
Adam, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic once I figured out what I was doing.
That's always a good thing. Yeah, we're all sitting around. Where's the broadcast? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was a little late on that. That's on mine. My bad. I'm still getting used to, okay, because I got in here and it said there was 45 minutes of practice. It's like, okay, well, do they end practice early? Does it run the whole way?
Every Thursday starts at 7 o'clock on the dot for qualifying.
Okay. So don't pay attention to that practice clock.
Nope, 7 o'clock every weeknight.
Okay, well, we got that situated. We're back under control. Because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm confused. So I do apologize for that, and hopefully they let me come back next week to really show what I could do. But congrats there for second place here with the first race of the evening, putting that 32 up there in the second place. I noticed you seem to be kind of trying different lines there towards the end of the race, trying to see if you got anything to get up there towards the lead.
Yeah, I was trying to search around. I don't run here a lot, so it's kind of like a guessing game as the track was wearing out, and where was fast, and what lines to hit. And I think Matt was pretty much running the dominant line. I don't want to finish second, so I'm going to try to figure something out to get him. But did what I could. I found the line there a little bit higher up, coming through the corners, but I think I just ran out of time to do it. So I believe that's actually Matt's first win in Coast to Coast, so hats off to him. Congratulations. So we'll move on to the big block here and see what we can do.
Alrighty, well, we'll see if we're talking to you at the end of the next one. And you got any sponsors or shout-outs you want to give for getting up here in the podium, second place podium position?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Super Air Car, High Mom Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Extra Insulation, Castaway Flagstone, Shaggy TV, GripHack.com. Adam, you for coming along here and doing the broadcast. Everyone at Coast to Coast, and shout out to Mr. Salas there. We had a little contact, and he let me get my spot back afterwards, so I appreciate it. Home wasn't necessary, but stuff like that goes a long way. So, yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, well, we'll definitely look forward to seeing you run in the next race.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
All right, that was Anthony Morano, our second place finisher. Now we're getting with Matt. Good evening, Matt. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
Well, you come out here and you put that car out there into victory lane. Must feel pretty good.
It feels good being able to pull it off, even though I don't think I was the fastest, but I'll take it.
Well, it's not about being the single lap fastest. It's about being the fastest one. The fastest average is the way I like to look at it.
Yeah.
So, somebody might have a faster lap time, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I pretty much spent like the majority of that race just trying to find a good line, and I don't know. I think I started finding something near the end, and then Anthony almost got me at the line. I kind of caught me by surprise.
Yeah, he was doing a little bit of searching there in second place as well, trying to figure out where a better line would be.
Yeah, I could see him in my mirror searching around.
That always makes you nervous when you get somebody like Morano searching around.
Oh man, I was nervous as soon as he got up behind me because I've watched him all night, and he's always been fast, and he was really fast tonight.
Oh, that track was that track kind of a racy track tonight, or was it more slick there towards the end?
It was very slick. It was not easy to make super clean passes, I'll say, because among the amount of slick that it was and the bumps just made it difficult.
Yeah, we saw that backstretch in particular was quite bumpy as you guys were going down that backstretch.
Oh yeah, especially coming out of 2, if you get into a certain groove in 2, it just bounces pretty much the whole straight.
And with these cars, I'm sure that bouncing kills your lap times.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it doesn't help it by any means, I'll tell you that. It doesn't feel good either.
I'm sure it don't feel good. So, but you got shout-outs or sponsors you want to thank for helping you get victory here in race number 1 of tonight?
Oh yeah, first of all, big shout out to Top Notch Trucking for putting on this race tonight, and big shout out to Dean Reynolds as well for getting me and a bunch of my other Canadian buddies into this league. It's pretty awesome that he did that for us, and we all are really enjoying it in this league, and it's a bunch of good experience to learn. Big shout out to all my buddies in my Discord that are always supporting and giving tips throughout the race, and just having a good time, obviously. And big shout out to Tessie Mechanical and the 2 brothers for I don't know, pretty much getting me into this. Really, I mean, they own the Sportsman that we run around here locally in Brockville and Cornwall, and gave me the opportunity to run it, and I'll forever be thankful for them for that.
Alrighty, well, congrats there.
And a big shout out to Vertex Graphics for making a lot of the cars on this track look stellar, like always.
Alrighty, well, congrats there for coming out and getting that victory here as night number 1 gets underway.
Thank you very much, and thank you for putting on the broadcast.
My pleasure. Just kind of kicking myself for being a little late on it, but we're doing all right.
It happens. No one's perfect.
Oh, you race in the next race? We might see you there.
Maybe, yeah.
Alrighty, well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap up the 358 division here. Next up is going to be the big block 358 division, where we run them both together. And we're still here at Lincoln, so it should be a fun night. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, as we got more racing coming up.
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, here we are. We're back at it. As we're getting set and ready to roll here with the big block 358 division. Everybody get set to roll here tonight. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the show so far as we got everything working out here. Dean Reynolds there in the 3rd spot. John Dubai there in 7th. seventh fastest right now, that is. Best lap times right now are looking at like this. With Kinsey out there in front. I wish there was a way to tell what drivers were running, whether they were running 358s or running the big block. I don't know if it says on their driver thing or not. No, maybe if I go down here. Wait. I know, I need to. Carlos, that's what we need. Nope, not showing me. All right. Way to go, iRacing. Qualifying underway. We're looking there at Dean Reynolds as he comes out on track. Going to try to make his way here. Go back trackside. John Dubai coming out in at number 21. And you got Chad Lackey out here in the number 91. Coming here off of turn 4 to start his 4 laps. Or starting his qualifying laps, not 4 laps, qualifying laps. Coming here off of corner number 3 and 4 he goes. And you see the time they're rolling in. Reynolds right now with the fastest time with a 15.553. And we're looking there at Chad Lackey coming there off the corner. And roll back down through here. Jeff Barker out here in that second spot now as he comes across the line, lays down a 15.565. Chapman lays down a 6.56. 6.62 there for Chris Stofferson. Brewer, he's rolling along here in that number 390. Everybody's getting lined up here. You got Wyoming there in number 444 as he comes here off of corner number 2. Comes back around here on the front stretch now as he comes there out of 4. Where's his going to be? He's got a 15.752 for his qualifying time. Ryland Banks. Now he comes here out of corner number 3 and 4. He's certainly sitting with a 16.387. What's he have here as he comes down here in the corner number 1? He's got a 16.012. Getting here for heat number 1. Mike Brewer, Scott Riome, they're out there in second. Clay Christopherson pulling off tonight in third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Michael Watelli here fifth. Harold Klump in sixth with Ryland Banks there in seventh. Now we get started with the grid here tonight. Mike Brewer out there on point in at number 390. You got that for Riome there in second spot up there on the outside. Clay Christopherson down there on the inside. Then at 041 in third spot, you got Dean Reynolds there in fourth up there on the high side. 7 drivers here in heat number 1. Like I said, I can't tell. This is a mixed field here between the big block modifieds and the 358 modifieds. And I'm unsure where if anybody went one way or the other tonight, as I can't really tell a difference on the car. Too bad I couldn't get the help of the paint shops and put the division down there on the back of the car or something. Put 358 or BB somewhere on the car so I could tell who's running what car. And they come here off at corner number 3. They hit that loud pedal down here across that stripe. Down into corner number 1. Brewer getting a really great restart as well, or getting a great start rather. They are beating and banging already down there in the corner number 1. You got Harlan Kump having issues as he looks to be possibly broke back there. And he's going to pull it off. Everybody else stays green as they work down here through the front straight. Down here in the corner number 1. You got that 4 there of Scott Riome back out there in 4th. Dean Reynolds in 3rd. Craig Christopherson gets around and gets up there in the front. And I'm going to bet that that's a 358 for being the way that it's running down that bottom side of the racetrack. Down there, because you wouldn't be trying to pick up speed like that off with a big block. Down there on the inside, there comes that 390 of Mike Brewer down there on the inside as well. You got Reynolds back there in 3rd. Vitelli back there in 4th as he's trying to work his way up through the field. He's now sitting there behind sitting there behind Dean Reynolds. Now they working there off of corner number 3. Here with 4 laps to go in heat number 1. Chris Christopherson, I keep calling him Chris. It's Clay Christopherson out there in front with 213 of Vitelli. We're watching back there in 5th. Scott Riome back there in 5th. Vitelli back there in 4th. Battle still going on for that lead between Christopherson and Brewer as they work here off of turn 3. Brewer is really trying to get it stuck down there on the bottom side. Now he's going to run the higher line through 1 and 2. Drops it down there off a corner. Down there. You can watch. Just look at them cars bounce coming there off of turn number 2 as we've been watching all night. In the 358s. Before this, now they head on down here in the corner number 1. There they go. Back down there on the bottom side. They're running the cut down line. Here comes Brewer back down to the inside. Christopherson's up there on the outside. Great race here coming off of 4. It's going to be Christopherson to get the lead on the high side there. Off of 4. They come back down there onto the backstretch. Clay Christopherson getting a great win out there to secure his pole position up there for that main event here tonight. Starting here in heat number 2. It's going to be, well, I guess we should have done something else first. Results for heat number 1 is Clay Christopherson, Mike Brewer, Dean Reynolds finishing 3rd, Scott Riome there in 4th, Michael Vitelli 5th, Ryland Banks in 6th, Harold Klump there in 7th. Starting tonight in heat number 2, that's going to be Jason Butterfield, Dylan Kinsey there in 2nd, Chad Lackey there 3rd, Jeff Barker 4th, Bob DeGood starting tonight in 5th with Brian Moore in 6th. John Dubai there in 7th as they come rolling here off the corner. Eight laps to go here in the heat number 1. Got that 639 of Ellen Kinsey out there on the high side. They work here off the backstretch. Pace car is off. Yeah, that 93, Jason Butterfield out front. Dylan Kinsey there 2nd. Chad Lackey there 3rd. Jeff Barker 4th. Bob DeGood there in 5th. As they come rolling here off the corner, down there on the inside, up here across the front straightaway. Head down in the corner, number 1 they go. Side by side, 3 wide there in the back. As they come there off of 2, down that back straightaway, Dylan Kinsey out front getting a nice start up there on that high side. As they work here off of 4, back down across the stripe, 7 to go here in heat number 2. As that 93 there up Butterfield's trying to get back up there towards the front. You got the 91 of Lackey there as well, working there along the inside lane. You got the 93 up there on the top side. Here they work off of turn number 4. You see the 7 of Be Good. He's trying to get back up there as he lost the position there. Jason Butterfield, he was our pole sitter. Now he's back there in the 3rd as he's trying to get back up there towards the front. Up there and off of 4, back around here. 5 to go in heat number 2. Down here across into turns 1 and 2, down that back straightaway. You see there Chad Lackey really getting a run at Dylan Kinsey as he works down there off onto that back stretch into turn 3 and 4, across the front straightaway. He's gone. Oh, man, what a lap that was. As you got that 91 way down there on the inside. Dylan Kinsey way up there on the outside, bouncing along here on that backstretch. Down here on that bottom side comes Kinsey once again. Down here, and he's got the lead that time coming across the stripe, but it's 3 to go. Here coming off of turn 1 and 2. Definitely got, man, what racing we got going on as Kinsey up there about halfway up on the corner. But that 91 of Lackey really placing it really well down there on that bottom side, coming there through turns 1 and 2. Down there along that bottom guardrail here at Lincoln Motor Speedway here tonight. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the racing action as we're down here through the start-finish line and up through the racetrack. 3 wide, off the corner. Dylan Kinsey falls back. And now we've got Butterfield rolling back up there in the second. But looking down there on the bottom side, that's the 513 of Jeff Barker, as Barker now tries to work his way up through the front as they come here off of 4th. Results coming in here for heat number 2. Lackey out front with Butterfield there second, Barker third. And so on behind that, we'll take a look here at them as they come in. Heat 2 results. Chad Lackey, Jason Butterfield, Jeff Barker finishing in third, Dylan Kinsey fourth, Brian Moore there in fifth, Bob DeGood there in sixth, and John DeBay there in seventh. Starting grid here for heat number 3. Matt Barber, Anthony Morano in second, Randy Shreves in third, Zach Chapman there in fourth, Randall Dixon in fifth, with Brandon Garand there in sixth. This is heat number 3, getting ready for the start here. Morano up there in second, got the 16 there of Matt Barber. I got Matt Barber starting out there on pole. Anthony Morano back there in second. Randy Shreves there in third. Zach Chapman up there on the outside in fourth. Randall Dixon back there in fifth. But Brandon Grant back there in sixth. As they come here off of turn number 4. Down that front straightaway, everybody's getting set to roll here for the third and final heat. On here on the backstretch, looking around to that front straightaway. Matt Barber, your control car gets a nice launch there off of 4. Morano up there on the high side. Got to try to keep that momentum up. Coming there off of 4. He's up there against the marbles. Coming here off of 2. That inside lane prevailing early here as that 16 way down there against that guardrail. Coming off the corner. Morano's trying to get something up high to work. He gets some momentum coming down that front straightaway. Up there into that cushion now as they come here off of 2. Down that backstretch. Matt Barber up there in front. Anthony Morano there second. Randy Shreves sitting back there in third with that number 56 was Zach Chapman in fourth. Brandon Grant there in fifth with Randall Dixon there in sixth. As they come here out of 2. Coming down that backstretch. Anthony Morano there second. Randy Shreves in third. Zach Chapman fourth. Brandon Grant there in fifth. As they all roll here off of 4. Coming around the front stretch. Matt Barber out front still. As Morano's trying to chase him down out there in second. And this looks to be, if you were joining us here just a little bit ago for the 358s, this is looking like a repeat of the way that one ended up, of Anthony Morano trying to chase down Matt Barber. Coming around here of Lincoln, up there on that high side, Ed Morano's, he's trying to chase down that 16. Cannot quite do it as of yet as he's up there. There he goes, he's getting a great run there. Not quite enough. Getting there off the corner, tries to cut down off the corner. Now he's bringing it up there, looking for that little bit of a line. I know Matt Barber, he must be nervous with that number 632 right there with him. Everybody else works here off at corner number 2. Barber and Morano still fighting it out up here at front. Everybody else works here off the corner. Morano now takes the lead here off the corner, but no. Barber fights back down there on the bottom side. What some racing going on out here. And just look at them cars giddy up and bounce down that back straightaway. Coming here out of turn number 4 once again. It is Barber once again leading that lap. Final lap here. Can Morano get something to stick up there on the high side as they work here off of 2 down that back stretch? Nothing there to really compete with them as they come back down off of turn number 4, back down that front straightaway. Wow, man, what a race. All right. So everybody made the, everybody made the feature from what I'm seeing. So this ought to be interesting. Full field here. We're in warm-ups. Trying to see if we can get our heat race number 3 results. Matt Barber out there finishing first. Anthony Morano there second. Randy Shreves there third. Zach Chapman there fourth. Brandon Gerard there in fifth. McRandall Dixon there in sixth. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Dollars that come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us, we wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're getting ready for the main event here. Everybody getting lined up. starting grid. Trying to get it up here. Clay Christopherson there in front. Chad Lackey there in second. Matt Barber there in third. Mike Brewer there in fourth. Jason Butterfield there fifth. Anthony Morano sixth with Dean Reynolds there seventh. Jeff Barker there eighth. Randy Shreves in ninth. Scott Riome there in 10th. Dylan Kinsey there in 11th. Zach Chapman tonight in 12th. There in 13th. That's going to be Michael Vitale. Brian Moore there 14th. Brandon Gerard there in 15th. Ryland Banks 16th. Bob DeGood there in 17th. Randall Dixon 18th. Harold Klump there in 19th. John DeBay there in 20th. That is your starting grid here for the main event as they come rolling here off the corner, down here in the corner number one. Lap one up 30, underway as they work down through here off the corner, down that backstretch once again. You got Clay Christopherson there in second. Here comes that 93 of Jason Butterfield as he works his way up through the field, but don't count out that 32 who's also trying to work their way up through the field. That's the 32 of Anthony Morano up there on that high side trying to get something worked out as he comes down there as that 51 of Clay Christopherson down there on the inside, putting it right down there against that inside rail, trying to get up there, lap number 2 of 30. This track doesn't seem like they worked this track a little differently as it doesn't seem as slicked off as the previous race as we come down through here off of lap number 3 in the main event. Anthony Morano up there on the high side trying to gain position. You got that 93 there up Butterfield as well. Here comes Dean Reynolds. You got them 3 wide there coming in the corner number 1 and 2 as you got that 639 down there on the bottom side of Dylan Kinsey. As up there, you got the 56 as well. Randy Shreves as they work here off the corner. 3 wide off the corner, back down here across the stripe. It is 26 laps to go. Now we're pushing 3, almost 4 wide as they come slide through corner number 2. Down that backstretch, 639. There up Dylan Kinsey working down here off the corner. Got that 4 machine of Scott Riome up there on the outside. Working here off the start-finish line down here into corner number 1. 25 laps to go. Great racing so far here tonight in the big block versus 358 down here through into that last corner there. As out front, it's still Chad Lackey with Craig Christopherson trying to gain on him. But Morano back there, up there in 3 wide position down here through the backstretch, bouncing along down here into corner number 3 and 4. As they work out here into that backstretch. On that front stretch, Chad Lackey out there in front as everybody's falling in behind him. Down there through turn 1 and 2, down that backstretch. You got that 56 Randy Shreve, got that company from Dylan Kinsey and Scott Riome out there in that 4 machine. There's that 76 of Ryland Banks. He's trying to work his way up through as everybody's working there. 22 laps to go. Here comes Chad Lackey out of the turn number 3 and 4 as everybody works down the front stretch. Great racing going on here as everybody works now out of 2 down the backstretch. That 39 there, or 390 up Brewer, pretty quick there, but he's got a mirrorful of Morano. What happened to Matt? Wait a moment. Matt Barber, okay, he's fallen back a little bit. Our winner in the 358, he's up here trying to get up there. He's currently sitting 5th. As Morano's now found a way to get around him, and I was up here in the top 4. See if Morano can get up there into the top 3 by the end of this. 19 laps to go as they work down here in the corner number 3. Everybody single file for the most part as they work down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Not really seeing any double file racing except for that 52, or 55 rather, down there on the inside underneath the 76 there of Ryland Banks. That's Brian Moore Sr. down there on the inside as they work down the backstretch. He's trying to find some way to get that momentum up, keeping that momentum as they work down here. You see Morano now trying to make a move here on that 39. Brewer now is trying to stay there with Christopherson as they work here out of the corner. Look how up here against the outside wall they are. I'm betting those are big blocks out there in front as high as the racetrack they are running to keep the speed up. You can kind of almost watch where the speed of the car is as we got caution out on the speedway. John Dubai. They're in that number 3 machine. Coming down that backstretch, gets it bouncing. Might have just taken a bad bounce here in the corner number 3. Oh no, there's traffic ahead of them. Not sure exactly what happened. That was a 639 of Dylan Kinsey having issues. Dean Reynolds also in trouble, so we'll see if it started with Dean. Oh, what Dean as he comes down that backstretch. Comes on in there, ends up into that outside wall. And 639 just can't get it turned enough. Ends up putting in there. There's a few drivers going around. That is going to bring out your caution. $16 laps to go here in the feature race here for race number 2 tonight, the big block 358 modifieds. Green flag back out in the air. Hey, go down that back stretch. Out here through the corner, another caution out on the speedway. Try to see what happened here. It looks like Bob the Good might have brought this one out. There, that 7 machine. I'm working through. Oh no, there it is up there in front. There's the 55 sliding on back through and ends up getting into the 7 of Bob the Good. See if we can rewind it here to kind of see what happened there as that 55 gets into the 4, comes dropping back through, and blinks out and ends up taking the 7 with neck code. I don't know if that was a blink out on my end or if that was a blink out on his end, but they blinked out one another, and there's where the problem lies. I'll see him as they come here off the corner. Picked up, spun around. Down here, off the straightaway, here they go. Chad Lackey, your control car with Clay Christopherson. No, sorry, Christopherson, well, no, maybe not. These drivers can pick. Yeah, I was right. Chad Lackey's your control car up there on the outside lane. Now that everybody's trying to fight to get back up there. Here comes Morano down there through the middle. Up there in front of the 93. And the 93 there, up Butterfield getting a great run as they come down here in the corner number 3 and 4. He's up there into that outside wall trying to get it around, and he is up there and stuck as he now had to go over the wall and now into the pits. Tough break here for Butterfield. He had a great race going on. Here comes Christopherson up there in second. Morano up there along that high side now, way up there in the marbles, coming down that front straightaway. Everybody else trying to double file back here, trying to gain positions. As you see there of Jeff Barker in that number 513. Zach Chapman back here in the 72. Ryland Banks. And everybody rolls here off of corner number 3 and 4. What a great race we got going on here tonight, folks. As we come down here into corner number 1, the 39 of Mike Brewer, working down there on the inside of Anthony Morano. Morano up there on the high side, just trying to keep that momentum high. And now he's up into that outside wall. Now as they work down there through the front stretch, and Brewer down there on the inside, he's going to try to keep it going. And I find it interesting. I do wonder exactly who's running what. Whether who's got big block, who's got 358. And you got Clay Christopherson up there sitting second. Anthony Morano back there in third. Chad Lackey up there in front. 8 laps to go as they come storming down here into corner number 3. Look at Michael Vitelli make a run through the middle of the racetrack. Coming down there into corner number 3. Now he comes up here between 513 of Jeff Barker. They worked down that backstretch. Vitelli had to kind of back out of it a little bit, but Barker, what a run he's getting now up there on that high side. Now they come storming here off of corner number 4. 3 wide there off the corner. Vitelli almost in the middle. And that sandwich as that 4 is down there on the inside. Coming there off the corner, down that backstretch. Here we go. You got that 390 of Mike Brewer down there on the inside. He's trying to get up there. Caution back out. We'll see what brought this one out. As the 55 there, Brian Moore spun around. Looks like Dean Reynolds involved. Come here off corner 4, down here into corner number 1. Exactly where did this caution come out? Oh, the 2. The 2 of Clump got into it, and there's the calamity there in corner number 2. Now everybody's just trying to figure out how to get rolling again. Down here through off of corner number 1 they go. Back around here. Lights are on that pace machine. Everybody's single file as at the moment. 6 laps to go. It'll be 5 to go when we get back to green flag racing. Pace car off, single file restart. Chad Lackey, your control car out front. Clay Christopherson there in second with Anthony Morano there in third. And come here off the corner. Look at the track up there, getting that wear in. Down here through the front straightaway. Brewer really getting a great start down there on the inside, getting underneath of Morano now as they work down that backstretch. He's down there hugging that inside guide rail down there through. Here comes Morano. He's going to try to slide it up there and does not quite get it to get up there in front of Christopherson. Now he's got Brewer right there, and Brewer's going to try to hang on to that bottom side as they work down there off of 2. Morano up there in third at the time being. They work down here. Coming around to 3 laps to go. Off of corner number 4. Brewer down there on the inside. Morano up there on the outside. Here comes Brewer back down there against that bottom side wall. And I think at 72, Chapman's also trying to go as a bottom feeder fish and run that bottom line as close as he can down there to that bottom guide rail. Coming off the corner. Still Chad Lackey out there in front. Morano up there in third. What a battle going on here as Christopherson. He's there in second, trying just to hang it on. Brewer doing what he can down there on the bottom side. Who's it going to be as Brewer gets there? Still final lap, though, as they work here off of corner number 2. Brewer coming there on the bottom side of Morano. Gets the edge down the backstretch. Coming into corner number 3, though. It is Morano with a slight edge. Christopherson slide job up in front of Lackey. Not quite there. And wow, what a finish there with Lackey finishing first. Christopherson second, and Brewer coming out with that pass there in turn number 4 to get that third place. Well, wait a moment here. Say Morano finished 4th. Trying to figure out here. We'll have to figure this one out. I got 2 different scorings here. What I saw with my naked eye. Okay, there we go. One scoring doesn't match up to the other, but here's your official scoring here at the end of this race. Chad Lackey in first. Clay Christopherson there second. Mike Brewer in third. Anthony Morano falls up a little short there in fourth. Randy Shreves there fifth. Matt Barber there in sixth. Zach Chapman in seventh. You got Michael Batali there in eighth. Jeff Barker in ninth. Riley Banks there in 10th. Scott Rayome there in 11th. Bob DeGood there in 12th. Harold Klump there 13th. Dean Reynolds there 14th. Brian Moore there 15th. John Dubé there in 16th. Dylan Kinsey in 17th. Back here in... come on now. Back here in 18th is Randall Dixon. Brandon Gerard there in 19th with Jason Butterfield there in 20th. That is your finishing order there. And we had a great job out front from these drivers. Alrighty, well, here we go. Let's get started here with our... Oh, boy, here we go. Oh, man, where... No. There we are. All right. Here we go. Our third place finisher, Ob Brewer. Good evening, Brewer. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Well, you got third place here tonight in the 358 big block mashup.
Yeah, I got lucky and snuck by Morano there. I don't know how much I beat him by, but I was surprised that I got by him.
I'm thinking Morano was surprised too. But you did a great job. Now, I haven't learned, is there a difference in the way these cars look for us up here in the broadcast booth to maybe tell the difference between the 358 and the big block just by looking at them or not?
No, look-wise, you can't tell the difference between this and the 358.
So what were you running out there, big block or 358?
Big block.
Okay.
Yeah, if I get a choice between 358 and big block, 9 times out of 10 I'll choose the big block.
Well, you did a great job putting it up there in the third place. I know you were battling with Morano quite a bit there through that race. Kind of take us through, though. How'd that track transition for you throughout the night?
Transition, like it was pretty slick there through the center, and most of the race it was top dominant. They're out, you can't pass them where they are, so you got to go where they're not, right? So figured I would just run the bottom, and I was holding my own there, so I tried the top again a couple times, but I don't know, I just couldn't run up there, so stuck it out on the bottom, and those guys battled it out and got lucky and snuck by Morano there for a podium.
Well, you did a great job staying there, and that's the biggest thing, though. With pretty much any racing, is just be there at the end. You got to try to really get your nose up there, just in case something like that does happen, where somebody in front of you has to check up. You might sneak another position out of it.
Yeah, and this track is real tough. It's one of the tougher tracks that we have on the sim. So if you can roll the bottom like that, keep your nose clean. It usually fares well for you. But I gotta thank all the guys over there at Full Throttle Motorsports and Expert Installation and Dino over there at Dirt Car. You for broadcasting that and everybody out there watching.
All righty, well, congrats again on your third place finish here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, out of Mike Brewer, our third place finisher. Let's get with Clay Christopherson. All right, Clay, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fairly good. How's second place feel tonight?
It was good. Tried experimenting on the track a little bit, but there just wasn't many options. Bottom seemed to come in towards the end, but I already had all the momentum up top, so I had to try something there. And slider almost got it done, but it was really fun racing.
It definitely was great to watch there, and you guys were battling hard, that's for sure. Just unfortunately, sometimes it's dirt track stuff. You can get up there, but the biggest factor is trying to make the pass, and that's not always the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, you can only go as fast as the guy in front of you, so you're unless you try some things. And it was a good slider. Slider felt comfortable, but just ran out of real estate. The top is so gripped up, and he was there a lot quicker than I was assuming, so couldn't get the drive I really wanted in time. No, that was a really fun finish, though.
Oh, most definitely was. And were you worried about Morano at all sitting back there behind you? I know he tried a slider there a couple of points throughout the closing laps.
A little bit, but at the same time, I knew he was in the same situation I was, so you can only go as fast as the guy in front of you. And no, it was close. I heard him the whole time and kind of looking left a little bit just to see if he was throwing a slider when we would make a little bit of a gap. And yeah, it was fun. That was probably one of the best races in a while.
Well, congrats there for second place. You got any sponsors, shout-outs, or anything you want to do here for second place finish tonight?
You guys for putting this on, all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 big block sets.
Alrighty, well, congrats there in the second place, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Sounds good, thank you.
All right, that was our second place finisher there, Clay Christopherson. Now to get with Chad Lackey. Good evening, Chad. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad yourself.
I'm doing well. Am I saying your last name correctly, Lackey?
Lackey, yeah.
Okay, so it is Lackey. Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure I'm not butchering last names. I've done that a few times.
Oh, I appreciate it. You got her.
I'm pretty good at getting them, but there's a couple times where I end up butchering it. Congrats there on getting your victory here tonight. Must feel pretty good here in the big blocks. Were you running big block or 358 out front there?
I was in the big block.
You were running big block, okay.
Yeah. I made a mistake there once. I'm trying to run a 358 with the big blocks, and I was just getting freight trained, so I didn't want to make that mistake again.
Well, we were kind of curious there, coming into race night, before the broadcast and everything. I was talking to a couple guys, and they were a little unsure whether or not how much of a split we'd see here tonight, just because of the type of style of racing and how quick this track can slicken off.
Yeah, it slicked off there pretty quick there off the start. I just knew I needed to be on that outside after a warm-up there. I had a few of them go by me pretty quick when I was running the bottom, so I'm like, yeah, that's where the line is going to be. And it turned out it was the whole line the entire time, which was nice because I started on the outside and then got by Clay there off the start. We were racing there side by side there for a little while, and I just got the run there, and then every restart I chose the outside because I could just stick my right rear off that berm there and it would just launch me.
Yeah, you definitely look good out there in front tonight, and really was a pleasure here broadcasting on my end, and can't wait to do it again. You got any sponsors or shout-outs you want to give for helping you get that victory tonight?
Yeah, I really got to give a massive shout-out to Dean Reynolds there for sponsoring me and all my friends there. He, really nice gesture. He sponsors this year for the league, and it was just a real nice gesture. I just got to give a massive thank you to him. Got to shout out my sponsor there, Billings Motorsports. We put so much time and effort into this simulator, and everyone takes so much time and care, and it's great. I love it. I also got to give a massive shout out to Vertex Graphics there, Tyler Bowman, just hooking me up with the dirtiest wrap you can give someone. A lot of the cars that you've seen out on the track tonight, he made those cars, so he's just phenomenal at what he does. Massive shout out to him. If you need someone to hook you up with a sweet wrap, give Tyler Bowman their message. I also gotta say, gotta give a shout out to all the buddies there in Discord. Me, Matt, Rylan, Shane, Brody. We work really hard together. It's just a big team effort, trying to help each other out there, trying to figure out what best line to run, and it takes everyone.
That it does, and you guys definitely look great out there, and hopefully you guys can pull it off again next week. I haven't fully looked at the schedule. I'm still getting into the swing of things here, but can't wait to do it again. I had a blast here. Hopefully you guys had a blast out on track.
Yeah, for sure. And I also got to give a thank you to you there for broadcasting all this. thank you for taking your time there to do this for us.
Oh, my pleasure. Next week, I promise. Hopefully, bosses will let me come back, even though I was late this week. Hopefully, he'll let me come back so I can really put on the show that I need to and get it worked out. But you enjoy your victory here in the big block.
Thank you, man.
All right, that was Chad Lackey, and not sure exactly how we're supposed to continue here, so let me pull up Zach. We'll get a word with him as we figure out exactly how this transition takes place. Good evening, Zach. How's it going?
It is going. I am sitting here waiting for this late model race to get ready to go kick off. That big block, man, I'm tired after that one. I'm gonna need to catch my breath during this break. That was fun though.
Oh, it was a blast, and I have a pleasure to. I'm so glad to be a part of it, to be able to bring it to the people, and it's so fun. Dirt track is just. There's nothing else like it. I mean, the action is just so quick. You got to be on your toes at all points.
Yeah, definitely. And, well, you don't have much time for breathing room, in a small place like this. And the wall will sneak up on you so fast. You saw it. We went so long green flag, and I think that was Dino who I heard apologize in the race chat for getting into the wall. But, man, that thing will sneak up on you. I know I got it a couple times, and I was lucky enough to keep it out of the wall. But, man, oh, man, right now I think not everybody has put in a lap time, but we've got 10 guys in here for this late model. So, this one should be a good one here. I don't think the track's going to be burnt up as much, but I think we'll still see some good passing.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you get started with that. I just, being new here, I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to transition from big block into the late model.
I'm going to be honest with you. Every time Travis and I did this, it was very awkward. I would always just throw up my commercial, mute all the sounds, say, "Hey, Travis, I'm ready to switch," and he would go 3, 2, 1, and he would click to start his, and I would click to cancel mine.
Alrighty, well, are we ready to give that a try?
Yeah, let's go for it. I'm ready to roll.
Alrighty, well, good luck, and hopefully we'll be here next week.
Yeah, we should be.
Alrighty. Well, I got my stuff ready on my end. You ready on yours?